my hay fever-ridden eyes, but apart from that, all is good in my world. Really pleased that you're able to join us today. It's a hot, sunny day, so we're going to try and make this lively and as interactive as possible. Delighted that Ash Roots, the new Chief Digital Officer at the University of Exeter, former BT, former Facebook, Swap London from the Southwest, of course, is joining us in a moment for the keynote. A few essentials. So if you haven't used Hopin before, it's pretty self-explanatory. Chat on the right. Communicate with everyone when you're in sort of the main area like this, and then as you move into the sessions where the workshops are happening, you can communicate within sessions. We want questions, we want comments, we want observations, we want links, resources, that kind of stuff. That's all part of this. Any tech issues, it can happen with Hopin. Google and Firefox are the best browsers to use, so try those. If all else fails and buttons aren't showing and things aren't working, best thing to do is to come out and come back in again, the turn it off and turn it on rule. If that fails, there is, in the sessions area, there's going to be a tech support session in there where Joe, one of our super helpers, Joe and Laura helping to run today's event, is there. So you can go in there, ask questions on the chat and go directly to him, or you can jump up on screen, etc. So we've got lots coming up. We've got Ash Roots in a moment, and then we've got two lots of 3 workshops and then a panel discussion. So just a quick run through in terms of workshops. We've got Ben Cooper from Tech Southwest is running adopting a startup mindset for accelerated growth. We've got Robert Hillier running tapping into university innovations. We've got representatives from universities across the region, including also some members of the University of Entrepreneur Society. We've got Going Global session that I'm running with RSM. Really excited about that, our new overseas expansion program. So come and have a look at that one. And then after those 3, we dive straight into the next round. We've got Prime for Success, adopting a true innovation mindset with Set Squared Exeter. A funding innovation session, a really key one. We've got Microsoft in there, British Business Bank, Innovate Ed UK. That's been hosted by Ben again. And then we've got an innovation knowledge exchange as well. We've got some tech founders and experts just sharing thoughts, ideas, things they're doing, innovation that works, the lessons learned, that kind of stuff. And then to wrap it all up, panel discussion. Is innovation overrated? Do we all need to be innovating left, right, and centre? Let's work that through. We've got some key guests, and Ash will be joining us for that as well. Just a few other things I'm going to mention. This is our second of our 3 summits this year. We did one on talent. This is our kind of innovation and business growth summit. And then in the autumn, we'll be doing one around funding and finance specifically. So watch out for that in the coming weeks around signing up for that. And also ideas for workshops, panel discussions, getting involved, etc. Tech Southwest Awards. We've got the Sparkies tonight, so see you there, for those of you who are going to that. And then the Tech Southwest Awards, the deadline end of this month. We've got an innovation category. We've got lots of categories. We've got about 130, 140 entries so far, but it's free to enter. It's a big ceremony in the autumn. Get involved. Why wouldn't you? So links will be going out in the chat around those kind of things. A couple of other things to mention, just on the theme of innovation. Somerset County Council and others, Tech Southwest, Barclays Eagle Lab, and others have teamed up. There's going to be an in-person innovation exchange. It's called the Somerset Innovation Exchange later in the year, September the 27th at Taunton at the Somerset Cricket Ground. So that's a region-wide event, and it's just about to be launched, basically. But I think the website is live now, even though tickets aren't available yet. But somersetinnovationexchange.co.uk for that one. So I think they're the main things. Another thing really thrilled about is we've launched Founder 100. A new sort of membership package for companies, and we've got about 30, 40, 50 companies already now part of that. Some of them who are here today. Go and have a look at that. It's a whole new set of peer groups, tech leader masterclass series, 360-degree profiles of your business, dedicated account manager, that kind of thing. So that's the things I wanted to say. I'm hoping any moment now Ash will pop up on screen by the magic of Hopin, so I can introduce him, or he can introduce himself, and then there we are. Beautiful. Hi Ash, how you doing? All right?
I'm very good, thank you. Look, I've popped in and I'm sitting in front of a really disorganised filing cabinet. Look at that.
I love it. That just smells of innovation. What's inside that cardboard box or whatever I want to know. No, delighted that you're here today for the keynote speech, and I'm going to really just hand over to you to introduce yourself. Do you want to? I know you're sharing your screen as part of this as well. Do you want to get that ready now while I kind of
It's all good. It's all good to go. No, it's fine. I'll just I'll
I will leave it to you. You've got 10 minutes to rock this crowd, and then I'll jump back on at the end. And if there's any questions from people in the crowd, we'll see if we've got time for that. But I'll leave you to it. Thank you, Ash.
Fantastic. Cheers, Dan. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely sunny day today. I hope you've got ice creams and things like that and shorts on, if for those of you that can or want to. So, Dan, thank you very much for inviting me to have a chat. Just for clarity, I never worked at Facebook. I don't know where that came from, but if it helps, then a good thing. But bit of background about me is the fact that I started as a web designer. I think it's 25 years ago now, something quite a long time ago. One of the first breed of web designers, and then I've bounced around different industries and organizations. I call it helping them take advantage of the internet. The commercial world calls it digital transformation. Recently, as Dan just said, I've just started work at the University of Exeter as the Chief Digital Officer, which is really exciting. I'm sitting currently in the forum at the moment in Exeter, and there's people behind me. You can see them. It's graduation time at the moment as well, so there's lots of noise, which is quite hard to find anywhere quiet. Other thing to mention, which I'm quite proud of, I recently got diagnosed with dyslexia, which has been quite an interesting thing in the working world to navigate that. But it has helped me understand lots of things about myself: timekeeping, inability to read or write properly at certain times of the day, and follow straight lines and stick to timing. So things like this, really exciting. So innovation, right? When I saw this, I was thinking, what do I say? What do I say to you lot? You lot know most things. I'm sure you do. But I did some research, which is what basically Dan said I was going to share. So I'm going to try and share my screen in true style. Let me just do that. There we go. I created a mural. For those of you that don't know mural, hopefully you can all see that now. I will wait to be told via message that it's all okay, or someone saying something, but I'll just crack on anyway. But anyway, mural, if you don't use it, it's a really cool, basically whiteboarding tool. So I'll zoom out here. So you can see loads of cool stuff really quickly, and you can collaborate really easily. If you already know what it is, then well done you. It's a really good tool to use. So I did some research quickly because I thought, okay, the bottom line is innovation. Why do you innovate? And my angle on this was very much that, basically everything keeps changing. Kind of obvious statement, but it's like, how fast? So I thought I'd do some things to kind of warm us up. Now, most of you have probably heard of Moore's Law. I still don't really understand it when I read it. I get the logic here, but the fact is, in the world, Moore's Law technology, the number of transistors in dense integrated circuitry doubles about every 2 years. That's a lot for a morning, isn't it? But the point is, if you're saying that the technology and the transistors in technology is doubling every 2 years, then it means that everything that they do, whether it's autonomous cars, computers, Internet of Things, all that stuff, it's just growing so fast. Like, it's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. We should know that one, but it's just one that you keep thinking, blimey, it's going proper quick, isn't it? Another one about how much the world is changing is the coronavirus. This stat I really liked was the fact that actually, just in terms of viruses, right, and how fast they mutate and how fast they spread. So this is obviously something from Forbes about one of the variants we had, about how fast that was moving. And you kind of think, well, we've all experienced the fact that things organic like that, when they change so fast, we have to react and respond to them. And the question is, can we, as humans, respond quickly and efficiently to whatever they might mean? This other one here I thought was quite sweet as well. We're all probably now consuming more content than we probably have ever done, but we probably don't realise. So I found this stat. It's an angle from the United States, but it's quite fascinating if you think about it. It's the fact that the number of original scripted TV series in the US is doubling every 10 years. Now, if someone said to you now, in the next 10 years, you're going to consume double the amount of TV series that you are today, you'd probably go, no way. But it'd be quite interesting. I mean, I couldn't find the right stat, but it's like the amount of content, Netflix, Prime, the way all the streaming happens, whether it's user generated, social media. I mean, like the amount of information and change in that, like the way it makes our brains melt in some ways. And what does it do to them? Another thing there. This other angle, which I loved, and you might have heard this quote before, but someone called Lauren Bacall, I don't know if that's pronounced right, but I think she was basically, I think she's a Hollywood actress from years ago. And this is a great quote, right? And we should use it in many organizations, that the reality is, if the world is always changing, that actually the fastest way of moving backwards is just stay still, which is quite scary, because it kind of means if every day when you're doing whatever you're doing the same thing as you did the day before, you're effectively potentially standing still and the world is going past you. It's quite tiring, isn't it, to think about that? Data, we all talk about data, but it's so true, you know, that the amount doubling every 2 years, just the fact that every one of us with our phones today has to spend that time every so often, if we can be bothered, organizing our photos. I mean, it's like photos and videos. It's just like we're creating reams and reams of information. But basically, you know, all of these people in the world, including ourselves, what are we doing with it? Where are we going to consume it? Where are we going to put it? I mean, like, it's completely bonkers. Internet growth we know about, simple stuff, you know, population of the world is slower than the growth of the internet and social media. You know, and I mean, I think these stats, I'll have to zoom in a bit. You know, 62% of the population are using the internet. Actually, if you think about it, blimey, what's going to happen when, you know, 80% use it? Is, you know, because the interconnectivity of it means that it always impacts someone else. What's that going to mean for businesses? What's that going to mean for connectivity, friendships, relationships? And, you know, now the world is not a world of where it's your local community. The world is the world. And if Elon Musk gets his way, then it'll be multi-planetary at some point very soon. Businesses, more businesses created than ever in the UK, apparently in 2022. So, you know, businesses drives good thinking, products, services, you name it, more businesses, it will drive more activity. And then jobs and skills, critical part of anything in our lives, right? Whether there are kids or whether we're us at work or any point of it now, is the fact that actually, you know, we used to be in this world from a kind of a change perspective of where actually it was okay to get a job or a skill that could be yours forever. But now that is not the case. People are changing roles more often. People are having to upskill, change skills. And actually, the world around us is encouraging us to change those skills. So back to me. I'm going to give you some tips now on what I have learned on how to survive this world. So well, that's horrible, isn't it? Let me come back here. Look away, everyone. It's hard to see the button when there's hundreds of them. So my tips, what I've learned about change and surviving it. First thing is don't try and build confidence, build comfort. It's very common, especially when I was young, is that people always said, if you know, get confident at something, or you'd see someone who looked apparently confident and you try and aspire to be that person. But the challenge is with that is, for me, confidence always has a plateau, has a ceiling. And actually, if it's an ever-changing environment and you're having to adjust and respond and do things differently, it's quite hard to keep saying, I'm going to go from zero to hero in every task. And it's a lot of pressure. But comfort is a different angle. If you know, for me, I now try and in every situation, I've never been in higher education before as a job. And I'm used to feeling uncomfortable, but comfortably. Because what I'm trying to do is in every situation is understand, okay, what is going on? How does it feel? How do I react? So I aspire to find a kind of a comfortable discomfort. And to credit my 8-year-old daughter, nervous sighted is the way to go, right? If you're nervous or excited, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. So actually, in every situation, a changing environment, get used to that feeling of discomfort or excitement. Doesn't really matter which one. And that's the one that you want to be have a constant. Second is everything's an experiment. I treat that with everything now. Everything is an experiment. I've never been on Hop On before. I've never tried to drag a mural across, etc. And present in this way. It's like treat everything as an experiment, and then it creates this, you know, supporting the comfort point of this regular thing about if change is always about finding a better way of doing something, potentially innovation. Is then actually, if you treat everything as an experiment, then when things go right or wrong, in small situations or big ones, it feels quite normal. So I treat everything now as an experiment. What am I going to learn from it to help me maybe adjust or adapt? Which is why having regular reflection time, retrospectives in agile terminology, or just, you know, feedback, it's a really good thing. Third is helping others proactively. If you go out there and always try and find ways to help someone else, whether it's a minority group or it's someone else in terms of just solving their problem or objective or doing something that benefits them more than it benefits yourself, do that. Because in a changing environment, you want to know that someone else is looking out for you. So if you do it for someone, they may do it for you. Writing stories relates to feedback, but the point is in your life, it's a story, you're writing it. And what I've learned is if I focus on, okay, what am I saying? What am I trying to do today? What's the story? What am I going to tell my friends? What am I going to tell people at work? What am I going to tell my next employer or future employer in a job interview? Write a story. But it's also good because you're sitting there and you're thinking it through. You know, your life is a story, so write it. And the last thing, which is critical to me, is be human. One of the things with technology and innovation is the fact that a lot of the time, the first time it's tested is in real life. Never forget the SMS days. SMSs fly out. Look at the way the world's changed. And I remember the first days it started happening and my parents not having a clue what I was talking about, and relationships ending via SMS. I'll never forget that. Luckily, it wasn't me, but I heard some people, and it was just, you know. But if you're human, you can empathize, you can understand, you can focus on needs, you can understand the impact of technology, or at least if you don't understand the impact of technology or innovation, you can put them front and center in a process, in a product, in a service all the time and work backwards from it. And if you're human, also from working with other people, you can generally help them through change because you'll be able to relate and also support in a better way. So they're my thoughts. I think that's 10 minutes. I'm not sure, Dan, but there we go.
Hi, Ash. I'm here. How that happened? I'm here. Fantastic. Be human. Stories, experiments. Everything is an experiment. Helping others. And what was it? The nervous excited.
Nervous sighted. Yeah.
Nervous
Don't build
sighted.
confidence. Build comfort.
Don't build confidence. Say that again. Don't build confidence. Build comfort, or the other way around.
Yeah. No. That way around.
Okay, cool.
Don't aspire to be confident, aspire to be comfortable.
That's brilliant. And I think one of the things that made the things was you didn't mention higher education or university until right at the end. And don't build confidence, build comfort. Thank you. And I think, there's one question I want to ask you. How are you finding, in terms of innovation and driving things forwards and driving change in the world of huge institutions, in the world of universities, because we've got a lot of people from universities on the session today. How are you finding that?
No, you said that last bit. It's brilliant. That's all I'll say. Brilliant. No, I'm not joking. I think my view is because I've worked at BT, I've worked at Direct Line Group, I've been at Carries Dixon's, I've been at the Mirror Group, I've been in small startup organisations with two-man bands, or two-person bands, I should say. Is change is actually very similar in every one of those systems, if you consider them to be a system, because they all involve people. But so, specifically at the University of Exeter, because you did ask, is like, what I love by the education environment is the kind of the smart people, the purposefulness of the mission, the fact that actually, like at the moment with graduation after 3 years or 2 years of lockdown, and now 3 years of graduations all back to back they're having at the moment. It's loads of people on campus. It's the pride in which families have in terms of achieving something that they didn't think they would achieve or haven't achieved in their families. So it's just an amazing thing. I think in terms of change and innovation, it's ironically about education, because even though you might be, and there's a lot of pressure if you are a teacher. I'm simplifying. I'm going back to my schools as well. There's the pressure on you to know the answer in an ever-changing world is greater than if you are a senior leader in an organization that is doing something else. So I can see there's a pressure, which is why my responsibility is as much to help guide as it is to support through what could be a very exciting future for universities in terms of what would the internet be. So, I suppose my summary is, I think they're all very similar, very organizations, all about change and about people, but for education, they're actually on a really good footing. It's just that there's a lot of pressure because of the knowledge, but let's think about where they could be in the future.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Ash. And
that's all right.
It's a great way of kicking off the summit. So everyone, the sessions are now open and live. Ash and I will be disappearing from the main stage area and mingling and joining some of those sessions, what have you, and one discussion later on. And Ash will join the panel discussion later. So people, please click on the sessions on the left-hand side, head to those. I'm hosting one of them, so I'm off there now. And Ash will see you later on the panel. Thanks so much.